Hey guys, this is Jen with Mike's Camera. I have Mark Cruz here with us today, and he's got the brand new 135Z Plena lens to show us. Mark, can you tell us about this awesome new lens you got?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. This is something that we've teased for about a week now. It's called the Nikon Z 135 millimeter 1.8 S line Plena. So Plena is the dedicated name we've attached to this lens. We have only two lenses in our lineup that have their own dedicated name. One is the Noct. That's the 58 millimeter 0.95 that we introduced about 4 years ago. But this one now achieves new standards in terms of peripheral illumination, sharpness, and bokeh that we thought it deserved its own name. Plena is really derived from the Latin root word plenum, which I'm told stands for a state of being completely full, almost overflowing. And so as it applies to the light gathering of this lens and how much light it can gather, the rear element is enormous because it basically bathes in light the large Z mount. So in our industry right now with 35 millimeter sensors, the Z mount is the largest and it is also the thinnest flange distance, giving us, our engineers, significant advantages when they design lenses of this sort. So it's completely crushes all benchmarks that we've had in the past in terms of getting light to the edges of the frame, which normally manifests itself into something called vignetting. So basically dark edges. And this is something that is evident, especially when shot wide open. So when people buy these lenses with these exotic apertures, they want it to perform best when it's wide open, but it rarely does that. You oftentimes have to stop down. The Plena is a different animal in that it can perform very, very highly wide open. So even at wide open, the amount of light that achieves on the edges of the frame without vignetting is industry leading. Plus the nature of the bokeh with this, if you'll see a lot of our marketing materials, is almost perfectly circular, even wide open. It uses an 11 diaphragm blade, rounded diaphragm blade system, but the quality of the bokeh, the lack, well, I'm going to get a little technical here, but the lack of onion ring, the lack of chromatic aberration, and just the gradualness of your in focus to out of focus elements, both in the foreground and background, has never been better than in the Plena. The best thing about this lens for the public is that it's far more attainable than the Noct. The Noct gave you opulent, luxurious imagery. However, it was heavy. It was manual focus only, and it was a very, very high price point, almost quadruple of what the Plena is. So the Plena priced around $24.99, but it's a far more attainable lens for a lot of people, especially people that are used to purchasing lenses in the 2.8 zoom category or those luxurious 1.2 lenses. We now have a new benchmark for this, so that's exciting.
Very exciting. I was learning a little bit about it too. It's not very heavy, right? Like, what is it? Does it feel pretty heavy?
Yeah, I think it's just it's 995 grams. I'm Canadian, so I haven't figured out the ounces yet. But no, it's less than a kilogram. It is actually less than the 85 millimeter 1.2. So if some of your viewers are familiar with that lens, in terms of volume, they're about the same shape and size. However, this is much more, a few grams lighter, and it feels really balanced in the hand. It feels solid, good piece of work here. It's got a metal construction on the front where we have that Plena engraved right there. So it's a really nice lens. The manual focus rings is large, gives you a little bit of a grip here at the front with this focusing ring. But the output is what's great about it. It has an 82 millimeter diameter on the front ring objective. Comes with a brand new hood, and it has a control ring here. Most of our S-line lenses do. So this is an S-line lens. It achieves the highest level of performance for this category of S-line lens. And I'll also tell you, starting with the Plena, we've adopted a new policy in our lens designs, is that everything that is an S-line is going to have a new function button at the top of the lens, in addition to the one at the side of the lens. So when people are shooting either horizontally or vertically, their thumb can access that button. So That's really exciting about this lens from a functionality perspective. Also, by default, for videographers or cinematographers that really appreciate this focal length, it is immediately available as a linear focus lens. So you can customize the adjustment with 3 of our cameras, the Z8, Z9, and the ZF now, to the angle of adjustment that you want. So yeah, it's a very highly performing product.
Why add this new name on this lens?
Yeah, well, like I said, the new name really embodies the philosophy in that we were striving to get to new benchmarks of peripheral illumination. So just bathing the sensor with light. The Plena does that better than any of the lenses in our lineup right now. The resolution is really good, and really that name Plena really embodies the concept in getting as much light into the sensor as possible. So the amount of light we're getting there, large, humongous rear element, gives you this kind of mystical quality in your images and videos for that matter. So photographers or videographers that are shooting people are really going to have a beautiful separation with the background, and also a consistent, even lighting from edge to edge of the frame with the Plena, and just bathing that lens with tremendous amounts of light.
Sounds like it would be really great for weddings, portraits, like anything people related.
I think
right?
You're right on about that, Jennifer. The wedding photography, I think, they have their sort of utilitarian lenses that you need to have, the zoom lenses, the wide angles, and stuff like that. But we just engaged a wedding videography couple for the launch of this lens, Yamin Studios. They're featured on our website, and they believe that with the DX crop in a lot of our bodies, this can mimic a 200 millimeter lens. When you invoke that crop, you have full frame at 135, and you have now this smaller, lighter, probably even more versatile lens because of the aperture that it can go up to. And it gives you a much more mystical quality, a quality that you rarely see because not a lot of people have a 135 1.8. Even in our lineup, I think it was more than 30 years ago that we came out. The last release that we had of a 135, it was an f2 at the time, defocus control, but that no longer autofocuses on the Z system. That's really designed for an era of the F mount where the resolutions weren't as high, and the demand from the customer looking at these fine points through their 45 megapixel sensor aren't critiquing things like chromatic aberration and onion ringing on the bokeh. Now, I think the customer base is so farly educated in 2023 that they demand certain quality from their lenses, and we certainly do as Nikon. We're trying to elevate image capture, and we've found we've really done that with the Z mount, and as a result, the Plena.
It's beautiful. Any more fun facts you can tell us about the Plena?
One fun fact that I can tell you is that people won't have to wait long to get this in their hands. In a couple of weeks, it'll be hitting store shelves, so people won't have to wait long to see the results of it firsthand.
We will have it available too, so they can definitely pre-order through Mike's camera. And thank you so much, Mark, for showing off this beautiful lens with us today. And thank you for coming in.
Hopefully we can do it again.
Yes, of course. Thank you.